let's talk about The Devil You Know. What made you want to team up with Omar for this project?
It's honestly just a crime that we haven't worked together until now. That's the reality. It's a crime. And, obviously we both worked with Deon Taylor prior, but we didn't work together with Deon Taylor. So Deon kind of introduced us one night, and, it was just like, yeah, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. And, he and Charles had been working on, this script for like 8 years or something crazy. And, when Charles asked me to read it, I asked him if I could be more involved, plain and simple. I asked him if I could be more involved. And then we started talking about characters. And, it kind of chose Joe McDonald, as the cop, because I wanted to spend more time shadowing and being an EP on this, and like, watching the actors, watching the production, learning all I could. And so that's really what kind of appealed to me, was the story was just good old fashioned storytelling. It's a human story. It's relatable. I always wondered what it was like to be to grow up in a big family. And so this now allowed me to kind of live vicariously through these characters, which was incredible. And then, like I said, just, look, it's Charles Murray, Omar Epps, me, and then we got the cast, and it was like Glenn Turman, Vanessa Buck Calloway, Theo Rossi, BJ Britt, Curtis Cook, Erica Tazel. It just keeps going. Keisha Epps, it just keeps going.
It was a great cast. It really was a great cast.
So yeah, it was nice to invest in ourselves.
Yeah, you know what I kind of loved about the character that you played? Your cop or your detective was not one of these detectives that was just like blowing into the house going, you're under arrest with cuffs, let's go. Like you, in every single instance that you approached that family, it was from a very calm, almost loving perspective. And you were like, listen, I'm just trying to give you a heads up. This is what's going on. And I appreciated that, because so often we don't see that depicted, especially by us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I started thinking about like, what does it mean for a Black detective to constantly see or have to arrest your own? And so Charles and I began a series of conversations about what does it feel like for this Black detective to walk into this Black household and see, his family, right? To see like a dynamic that he could relate to. And, do you just remain cold about the whole thing? Do you just remain objective about the whole thing? Or does that actually influence how you're going to handle this case? And so all of these things were things that we talked about. And I think they all influenced the character of Joe McDonald.
I would say so. I would definitely say so.
Thank you.
At the end of the film, there's that quote, that Genesis quote, that I'd never seen it in its entirety, right? But I do remember always hearing, am I my brother's keeper? Mm-hmm. And I remember first hearing that when I saw New Jack City. Yeah. And I haven't heard it again since this film. But what does that mean to you?
That was the original title of the movie, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there you go. Drop. When I read this project over a year ago, it's called My Brother's Keeper. And it was, I think the ending, and I don't want to give it away, but the ending is the personification of my brother's keeper. Because you know the answer. You know the answer. And because we've laid out all the options here, you know what I mean? And there's something very magical about that sibling dynamic, and how it just, in a lot of ways, it outweighs conventional thinking. And so, there's a question of, do I put my brother in the system? Ooh,
I know it
Oof.
is.
You know,
It's a lot on that.
you process that as an individual, and you're like, I could be mad at them. I could really be mad at them. I just don't know if I want them to go into this. I just don't know. You know what I mean? And that's the that's the G that got me. You know, like from the moment I read the script, I was like, woo, yeah, that's a question.
Like there's something to be said for, family is supposed to lift you up, not tear you down, right? And there's always that one family member who, in spite of themselves, just can't help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
in this film, we have that person that
Right.
just, he's trying to do the right thing, but the right thing always ends up being the wrong thing for him for whatever reason.
Yep. And it's a beautiful performance to watch. I think all the performances were really, really strong, and you know, it's yeah. It's again. I think all of that makes your thoughts, your impression, your interpretation. That's what makes the film so good, because it's relatable. You can't help but put yourself in the shoes of these characters and think about what you would do. That to me is good filmmaking.
Absolutely. I just want to talk about one other aspect of the film before I let you go.
Okay.
The aspect of these four brothers, for the most part, they're really tight. Like it's a really tight familial unit. The dad had a good job. The mother and father have a very loving relationship.
Yeah,
They, as a whole, have a whole loving relationship. And again, most of the time when we see these types of films, the mother ain't got it together. The daddy ain't got it together. You laughing because I'm telling the truth. The daddy ain't got it together. The kids, maybe one of them got it together, but that was not the case with
yeah.
this particular family. And I want to know, from a producing standpoint, how important was it for you to be a part of a project that depicts us in that light?
You know, it's like a dream come true in that way, because I feel like you're right. You can come across a script, and if you don't have any say in it, you probably won't get to make those changes that make it exactly what you just described. But to your point, typically our families are depicted as the drama. You know what I mean? The father, like you said, the father ain't got it together, the mother is doing her best, or vice versa, and the kids are all a mess or whatever. That's the drama. What's beautiful about the setup of The Devil You Know, and why I give so much credit to Charles Murray, the writer director, is no, we've got what is it, a nucleus unit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got this unit, and they're tight, and they love each other, and they look out for each other. And the more you get to know them, the more you realize, there's some stuff going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like this is humanity at its best, because there's a portrayal of a loving family, but some there's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of there's some backdoor dealings. Vanessa Bell Calloway, the mom, I mean, there
Right.
there's I mean, I have learned over the years that mommy issues are real. That moms always get that dear mama, oh, dear mama. Moms can put a hurting on people's mental health.
Yeah, they can.
They can put a hurting on people's mental health, man. We don't talk about that enough. And so, I think it's great to uplift mothers. It's great to uplift fathers, but sometimes the sins of the mother and the sins of the father, trickle down to the children. And what I loved about this was, again, you have this great, tight knit family, and then as the film, you know, continues, and you just see it all kind of crumble, and that's beautiful to watch.
What's really beautiful to watch is the fact that you always, always support me as a Black female film critic in this space. and I support you right back. That's what's beautiful to watch in this moment right here. And that is my time. But thank you, Michael, for always taking time out for me. I cannot even begin to tell you how much it means.
Always. I'm not going to change. I promise.
I know this.